I fucking hate deadlifts. Oh, God, I hate these movements. Trying not to be a one-trick pony and have something else I can compete in alongside of bench. Since there's no way I could do I don't know how guys do a big three. I don't know how guys do big three. How do you guys do big three? How do you squat, bench, and deadlift? I take my hat off, show my bald, shiny head to anybody that can do all three in the same day. That's crazy. I couldn't even do all three and get my strength up at the same time. But yeah, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna film my poverty. I'm all right. Well, I guess I'll use my downtime in between sets to answer any questions or whatever. Let's see. I don't think nothing yet. Sure, yep. Not too tough. If I was tougher, I wouldn't procrastinate and put these deadlifts off for so long. I think it was the first time deadlifting in, I don't even know how long, months. Probably closer to 6 months. I don't do these for a reason. Especially knowing that I was I might be competing. I wanted to save everything for the bench. Hey, who's that? Hey, how's it going? Hopefully, some of the big deadlift YouTube friends will come and maybe give me some pointers. Oh, Anson, what's up, buddy? Hey, you deadlifted damn good. What was it, 560? Was it 560? 560 something, I think you pulled, right? I want to say 565, 568. Hey, I remember 562. Yeah. No, you got the 562, yeah? Did you rip your hand? I saw you look at your hand on one of those. Did you tear a callus? You deadlifter guys, man, you guys stole the show. Second attempt, forgot to put chalk. Oh, no, I saw that. I was actually going to run up and tell you, oh, you want chalk? But he was already walking to the platform. I saw you look at your hands when you walked up. I was like, oh, he never put chalk. You still pulled it though, yeah, on that one. I remember watching your videos, I think on Facebook. I remember watching your videos when you first started deadlifting, not too long ago too, huh? Maybe like a year and a half or 2 years now maybe, or something. It wasn't like real long time ago, but I saw when you first started and you was climbing up through the floors. You're already at 562, man. Hats off, that's fucking awesome. The most I ever pulled was a cheat deadlift, was a 605 down up. Pumped off of nose torque. Yeah. I spent 100 something bucks just getting a whole bunch of different nose torque and the ammonia capsules and stuff just for this competition. Like, that was awesome. I'm gonna do a set real fast. Are you training tonight, or did you train today at all? No, didn't train yet. Oh. Yeah. Nah. Those pec ones on the deadlift, it's usually normally like just bad strains. It's like because it's like you're down like this. Your arms are in close, so your pec is kind of flexed like this. And what happens is a lot of times they like just over flex the pec, and then it'll strain like up there. Oh, you heard it on the bench. Oh, okay. All right. Shit, I didn't even know that. Well, if it's real bad, it's gonna freaking bruise up really big, really fast. If it's real bad, hopefully it's not too bad. But if it's real bad, it'll bruise up. It'll get purple. If it's like a minor thing, if it's like a minor strain, then it'll take a little while to get back used to it. Just don't bench for a little while. Maybe like a few weeks. Just seriously go into like bodybuilding mode. Do lightweight. First get like a lot of stretching. In the first week, get like a lot of stretching, and then however much time you need to actually rest it. Then when you feel that you're actually able to start going through motions and putting blood, that's gonna be what helps you heal up. Is like doing all that micro tears with it, just tearing it up, engorging it full of blood with all the pump work, and then letting it rebuild itself. And when you get all that blood flow and that pump work, all that oxygenated blood is going to really kickstart that healing process. But you don't want to jump in it. You don't want to jump into it too soon. So yeah, take this week to really figure out what's going on. If it's like a full tear, if it's a full tear, you'll know. Like it's gonna freaking bruise up big, really fast. But if it's a strain is like a minor tear. You know what I mean? Just the full tears are detachments. Hopefully it's not one of those. That's a long recovery process. But if it didn't get like really, really full of like purple, blue and shit, and all kind of funny colors, some green in there, then it's not, usually there's not a lot of detachment, usually. Only you know your pain level, so yeah, take it smart. Yeah. That's why I actually started deadlifting tonight. I haven't deadlifted in, I want to say 6 months at least, something like that, something long. I was just working on my squat. But yeah, hopefully you'll have enough time to recover, rebuild for that. You had some good numbers. What did you bench? Because I know you were benching raw too, right? I'm totally gonna cheat and use straps from here. My baby weight. Oh, I took my straps out yesterday. I wonder if they have some in here. I have to go all the way to the car to get them. Oh, they switched up the gym over here. It looks fucking awesome. Looks good. I like how they put the mirrors on the wall. Okay. I need some cheater straps somewhere. Oh, must be in here. There's one. There's another one. Oh, there's another one. Where's these? Raw 363, 402. Failed and fourth. Oh, okay. See, 363. Okay. Yeah, man. Bench is super technical, huh? Be a master of the movement. As soon as you can master that movement. And it's funny too. Bench is really funny. Like, you can get to a pretty big strength level, and then you'll run into some obstacles. Like for me was my elbow started going out on me. So I, even after benching 535, and then all the stuff I had to go through, and then even at that level, I still had to change up my bench form because my elbows just couldn't take the load. 678. That was a while ago though. But I'm more impressed with like my 557 triple. Squat is real funny for me. It's one of those things that last squat that I did, that last biggest one I had, 557 for a triple, my squat was in the gutter for months. And then I was only like messing around with squats here and there. I think I didn't squat for like 4 or 5 months, like really actually try and train it. I was just doing stuff here and there on bodybuilding leg nights. And then I just made up my mind that I was gonna start squatting again. And it took me 3 workouts to where 415 was heavy at first. And within 3 squat workouts, I got up to 557 for a triple, raw with wraps. So, but squat's always been one of those funny things that if I'm not too beat up, I can progress on them pretty quick. But it's always, my lower body's always shot, so it's kind of hard to progress on those. And I've never been able to bring my bench, my squat, and my deadlift up at the same time. So I always only trained either bench and squat or bench and deadlift. But I think I'm gonna try a new approach here. I'm gonna try and do 1 week deadlift, and then the next week not deadlift and squat, and just switch them back and forth. And hopefully, maybe that way I can, in the next meet I can deadlift too. I'll still probably have a poverty deadlift though. Hey guys, breakthrough plateaus on the bench. First things first is you're gonna have to find in your training where you're going wrong. So, like for example, on my training, what was going wrong on my bench was I was never deloading. I remember there was a portion in time that I benched 500 week in, week out, either 500 or more. I did that for literally like 4 or 5 months straight. And then that's when all the elbow tendonitis like really started kicking in. So what I did to combat that, and another thing I was doing wrong was I was doing too much volume on the actual bench itself. Like I'd do all my top sets, my work sets, and I'd come down and I'd do way too many back down sets. That's what a lot of people, like naturally too, a lot of people get wrong is they do just way too much. And the stronger you get, the more weight on the bar, the more it's gonna run your elbows. It's usually your elbows that start getting run into the dirt first. So just keeping a close eye on how much you're doing on that, having a more methodical approach. So what I'll do is, I literally only bench 3 times a month, believe it or not. Sometimes I'll bench 4 times a month, but that's like it's literally a joker bench session. It's just something I'm doing a little bit of just to do a fuck around session because I feel that I didn't run my body too far down during the month, so I can get away with that extra bench session. But normally, it's only 3 bench sessions a month for me. And that's what's been working good. and I don't do too many back down sets. My back down sets is usually one or two. At the max, two back down sets, but normally it's only one back down set. So if I build up to, say, like if I'm going, for example, if I'm going 455 on my top sets, right? Or let's use 445 for 5 sets of 5. It's weird, like once that volume, I get hurt. Oh, okay. Let me do a set real fast and I can get back to you. Okay, so one mistake a lot of guys do is, I see it time and time again, they always try and beat their PR every bench session. So say for example, a guy's max is 315 or 320. They'll go in there, they'll build up to that every single week. And sometimes they'll miss it, sometimes they'll get it, and the reaction they always have is, oh, yeah, I did 315 this week, so I never lose any strength. Or, oh, I couldn't do 315 this week, I feel weak. But nowhere in that equation are they actually trying to build strength. So a lot of the times, most guys, what they try and do is they're always trying to test their strength all the time, and they're never actually taking the time to build it. So if your bench max is 365, 370-ish, you should really only be going for those numbers once every 2 months, 3 months, if even that. What you should be doing for the bigger portion of that time is bringing up all your strength on the numbers below that. So bringing up your 225, your 275, your 315, even like your 345 reps. If you bring up, say if like, okay, so 365, 370, probably getting 315, anywhere from like 5 to 8 reps normally, right? Somewhere around there. So say your max reps with 315 is 8 reps. We'll use that for an example. Instead of doing one set, so instead of doing one set of 315 for 8, maybe say you didn't have your pec injury and you could actually train it this week. Okay, so this week I'd have you go something like 315 for 5 sets of 5, because it's something that you can get around 8 times. But if you get one set of 8, the volume equivalent versus 5 sets of 5, there's no comparison. You're moving thousands of pounds more by doing 5 sets of 5. And not only that, you're training your body to be stronger for longer, because the third set, the fourth set, the fifth set starts getting hard to get the 5th rep. And then that's going to actually help you break through that plateau of 8 reps on 315. So maybe after those 5 sets of 5, maybe you'll come down to like something low, like either 185 or 285 for like max reps, but only half reps, so you don't destroy your elbows locking all those reps. So you go like 185 or 285 max reps, and then that's it for that workout. A lot of guys, they'll try and go up, you know, always to that 1 rep on that, you know, 365 or 370-ish. They'll try and go up there, but by doing that, you're not actually building strength. So this week you worked on 315. If you're still feeling good, next week you'll work on something else. Maybe you might go up a little higher than 315. Maybe you'll go up to build up to something like 350 for a single. And then you'll come back down and rep like 335. You know, maybe try get like 3 sets of 3. You know, just try to get sets of triples. You know, so last week you did sets of 5. This week is sets of 3. Then next week you do something completely different. It's always changing up the stimulus and working all those other weights, doing work and volume. And you shouldn't always be doing 5 sets of 5, singles, triples. You should always be switching it up. That's what I do. I'm always changing up, doing different shit. Let me do another sit here. Fucking poverty band. Oh, no, not poverty. Poverty deads. God, my deadlifts suck. I don't know. I'm literally trying to do the hardest style of deadlifts for me, conventional. My sumo is way better. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's because my hips are so tight. My sumo started feeling kind of weird to me, but now this feels weird. Maybe I'll go back, I don't know. I don't know where my max would be at. It honestly doesn't take me like too long to get up, but I don't know, it's never, my torso is so long that my lockout is literally like a little under my belly button. It's super high, I gotta pull it really far to lock it out. Because my torso is so long, even guys that are taller than me, I still have a way longer range of motion than them. My sumo range of motion is still higher than a lot of guys' conventional range of motion. It's because my torso is so damn long. I'm not built to deadlift. I don't know. The most I ever did was that 605 down up, strapped up, everything. That's super cheating. So, and that's back when I was deadlifting a lot. I think the most I ever did was still off of the blocks. I pulled like 505 for like 6 or 7 reps or some shit like that. Yeah, I'm gonna do it in Oahu. And so I'm just kind of testing the waters tonight to see if I'm gonna be pulling sumo or pulling conventional. The thing about it is my shoulders are so immobile, and so just from all the pressing and everything, that like where I can't get my arms in enough to pull over under on sumo. So I'd have to find a way to either hook grip. If I pull sumo, I'd have to hook grip, which is like a whole big thing. But if I pull conventional, I can pull over under. So kind of testing the waters to see where I'm gonna go with that. Because at one point my conventional was stronger, and then I started doing sumos to complement it. Then my sumo got stronger, then I just only did sumos and I never did conventional. So this is the first time really trying to pull conventional. I don't know. I have good lockout power with deads, but my off the ground sucks. So just being able to get it off the ground. Conventional usually gives you better off the ground. So we'll see. But yeah, try that out for your bench. That's definitely gonna help. Always be doing different shit. And don't always be trying to test, because if you're testing, you're not building. When you test, it's because you know that without even going to a certain weight, you know that you've already built the strength to go above that. So by the time, you know, you're always going to be bringing up your reps, like your 275, all of that. Senior bench at the meeting. Yeah. No, they didn't give me a rack. That's the thing about that one. They didn't give me a rack command. And I thought I missed the rack command. But they said I didn't lock it out on my right side on that one. But I did. I locked it out, and I was literally holding it in lockout for 5 seconds. But it's a tough call, like I said. I don't blame the judging. They had good judging. You know, the judging was excellent. They have the hardest job of all, so, you know, I accept the call. That's all, G. I have to come back and do it again. It would have been nice to get white lights on that one and be able to go up to 530. That's what I really wanted, was 525 or 530, because had I got that 518 on that lift, I never had to come back and do it on the 4th. My next attempt would have been either that 523 chip to a 525, which is not that's only like fucking 7 pounds more. So I probably would have went that 529 chip to 530. And I believe I had the strength to do that. But yeah, that holding it and lockout, that really freaking, I have only so much % on my right elbow because of that tendonitis. I have only so much until it starts deteriorating and my strength starts going down, because that's like my one weakness, is that right elbow will start going downhill quick. But that, holding it at lockout for that long, that was like 5 seconds. That really, yeah, 530. Yeah, the 518, the 4th attempt when I did the 518 looked like I had way more in the tank. But the amount of, the percentage that it took out of my elbow on that 3rd attempt, when I first attempted that 518, the percentage that it took out of my elbow was drastic. Like, I was actually worried after that. I was worried I didn't even have anything left in the tank, but I still had enough to do that 518. So, but had I not, you know, run down the elbow holding that shit at lockout for that long, I think definitely I would have went 530, and I think I would have had enough for it. But that's the thing. You should always be able to take away something from the meets, you know. Always be able to take away something and use it for your arsenal. And what I took away was was a better way of picking my attempts, and more so the damn warm-ups. I royally screwed up on the warm-ups. I started warming up with the second flight, like when they were warming up, and I ended up having to try and find a way to kill an entire hour, and this was after I already did 365. So I was like, fuck. I had to try and kill an hour from 405 to 475. It was funny, I did 475 as my final warm-up, and I did 485 as my opener. I dropped I was gonna open up at 501, but I dropped it because I was scared that I was gonna be too cold by the time I got onto the platform. So just having a better plan on my warm-ups, I definitely gonna have a lot more power in the tank. It's funny, my bench is not bad, but my deads are laughable. All right, maybe I'll try and pull a sumo here. My sumos equally suck. Yeah, dude, they took forever. Messed up the warm-ups for bench press, deadlift. Yeah, that's always the hardest thing, is timing your warm-ups. But I think that when the flight in front of you actually starts doing their attempts, for me, that would be a good time to warm up, because I do a lot of circuit stuff, laterals and tricep extensions, and I like to get a few sets in, or 2 sets in at least, just doing the bar, and then all the time 2 sets in on just 135, and I usually pop that like 20-25 times, normally 25 times, 2 sets of 25 reps with 135. Then normally 225, anywhere from 10 to 12, sometimes 15. At one point, I was doing 225 like 20 times on my warm-ups, but 10 to 12 seems like a good, now it feels like a good thing for me. And then 315, it's either just a real quick single, and I try and move it fast, or a triple, and then from there up is all singles. 365 single, 45 single, 435 single, 455 single, 475 single, depending on where I'm gonna end up at, where my work sets are at for that given workout. I usually always build up to a decent, moderate single all the time. And lately I always do 455 every workout. It's like, that's always either my final warm-up or a step up in my final warm-up. And sometimes 475 would be my final warm-up. but that's not, you know, percentage-wise, it's still low. It's not like a super high percentage. So it's not like I'm always building up to like 500 or something, you know. If the strength level I'd have to be at to always be building up to 500, I'd have to be at like a 550 strength level or something in order to justify moving that weight that often every week, you know. But I have no problem with moving 455. You know, I can rep that thing 5-6 reps easy, so wouldn't say easy, but I can get that. Sometimes it's not as easy, but you know, it's one of those things I can get more than a few reps with that weight. But always try and work on something. Bench is crazy. Is the bench more so from form or strength? Oh, definitely a combo of both. Because you can have the best form, but if you don't have all the muscle and the power to back it up, you're not going to be able to move big weight out of the hole. And you can have crazy strength, but if your form isn't dialed in correctly, you're going to find somewhere in there that the weight is actually going to be an issue because your form isn't up to par. So yeah, not only getting strong and being powerful, but mastering the form. And really, you know, you're basically going to bench one of two ways. You're going to be a light toucher, or you're going to sink. I'm a sinker. So, but guys like Eric Spodel and Krill, they're light touchers. So the world's strongest bench pressers touch light. But that guy, Julius Maddox, seen that dude? He just did 705 raw, and he missed 723. And honestly, the only reason why he missed it is because it misgrooved. And I think that, like, just from watching it, it literally looked like his right shoulder slid off the bench. Looked like his right shoulder slid off the bench and his right elbow flared out, and that's why it misgrooved up. That's the only reason why he missed that lift. He has the power to do that. He's gonna be the next. He's gonna beat Eric's record and take the American world record. American record. I'm sorry. But Julius Maddox, he sinks. So one way isn't necessarily better than the other. It's finding out what way works best for you. And that's going to be the trick. I didn't get to see yours. You sink? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that dude's crazy. Fucking crazy strong. That's 650. He might have moved that 650 faster than I moved the 501, huh? That's insanity. How fast he's able to move 650. Yeah, I'm a sinker too. So just getting good at that. The trick about sinking is you gotta sink it all the way down. Because if you leave any slack in your sink when you go to initiate the press, it's gonna dip down a little bit and they're gonna call you for double dipping. So if you're gonna sink, you gotta sink that shit all the way. I fucking sink that thing to my spine. It's touching my lungs when I sink that thing. Fuck, deadlifts suck. God, I don't know how you guys deadlift. Oh, man. These deadlifts are horrible. This is a fuck around night anyway. My legs are so shot. There's no way I was gonna squat tonight, so just gonna fuck around on some deadlifts. Benching. Started benching in 8th grade. I was 149 pounds in 8th grade. And the first weight I ever did bench was 135. I did it for like 8 or 9 reps. Because we didn't know any better. That was just the first thing we threw on the bar. And then I had a cousin that was pretty freaking, his build, he was literally built to bench press. He had a good bench press. But he was a year younger than me. Then me and him started competing with each other to beat each other. He either beat me, I think he beat me to 205, and I beat him to 225. And then we were racing to be the first one to bench 315. But by 9th grade, I was already benching 225 in 9th grade. In 10th grade, our Kona school, when I was in 10th grade, had a bench contest. I don't know why, but all I know is I entered it and I won. I beat all the seniors. I benched 315 in the contest in 10th grade, and I beat everybody in the whole school. And then I kept working on it. By 12th grade, I was benching 405. It was either 2 or 3 reps at the most I could get it in 12th grade. And then when I got out of high school, I did some MMA fighting. Didn't train for a little bit. And then I started training again. And at 21, I benched 455 in competition, but it wasn't a sanctioned meet. It was back in the day. This was probably like, 2000, I was 18, 19, 20, 21, so like 2003. Yeah, I always had a good bench from when I was young. I squatted 535 in high school as well. But back then, there was no YouTube and there wasn't all this internet stuff like how it is now. There was no knowledge. All the knowledge had to be found by other people or by just good old-fashioned trial and error. So I had no idea about form, programming, anything. I wish I had the knowledge in my brain that I have now. If I had that when I was younger, holy shit, I would have hit some massive numbers already. But 21, I benched 455 in competition. And when I was 23, I was like 287 pounds, and I wasn't fat like how I am now. I had still yet, because when I graduated high school, I was 240, and I had abs from football, like full six-pack abs. You could kind of still see them when I was at 220, 287, but I was starting to get the love handles and all of that, but I was still jacked. And I benched. I never really maxed out, like 1 rep max, because I was totally into like power building. But when I was 23, I could bench 435 for sets of 3 at 23. I was like 287 already, and my arms was already 22.5 inches. And then I started fighting again. And then the month leading up to the fight, I completely tore my shoulder, everything. I tore everything off in my shoulder. And I had to have this big, huge surgery, and I had to wait an entire month with a dislocated and torn shoulder because it was too swollen for them to operate on. So I walked around for a whole month with a fucked up shoulder until I finally got the shoulder surgery. Then I did the shoulder surgery, and from there it was a fucking long road to recover. It was 8 months. After the shoulder surgery, it was 8 months until I could literally do this again. 8 months. And sometime in that time, after that, I had that massive back injury. On the job site when I was working with Ishimoto, I got snapped in half, basically, sideways. My armpit was down by my kneecap, sideways. Like, if you're normally standing up and you pivot like this, up and down like you hip hinge. I got snapped in half this way, sideways, from this massive ductile iron pipe. And I didn't walk for like at least a month. I had to crawl to the bathroom. My ex-wife had to wipe my ass because I couldn't even bend my back at all. For an entire month, yeah. It was about 3 or 4 months, closer to 4 months until I actually started walking correctly. Ever since then, I have sciatic problems. That's why deadlifts have never been my strong suit, because in that accident, from my glutes to my rhomboids, I tore every muscle in my back. Every single muscle in my back got torn. So that's why even though when I lat spread, you see the muscles on the left side, they're a little different than the ones on the right. You can kind of see the leftovers from that injury that I tore all those muscles. But coming back from that, man, there was people that told me after I had that shoulder surgery, they told me, you'll never bench again. Right, motherfuckers? Never bench again, huh? All right. Take that bench and drop it on their fucking chest now, huh? Yeah, they told me you'll never fight again. You'll never bench again. All right. It's just, you know, we all go through these massive injuries. Everyone goes through something. You have to be a master of the only thing that you can control is yourself. You have to be a master of that. Be able to fucking fight through everything. All the adversities in your life. Be able to get through those things. Find a way through. If you can't go through, go around. You know, it's kind of cliche saying things like that, but it's the basic truth. You know. But yeah, that's my excuse for my shitty deadlift. Well, aside the fact I'm really not built to deadlift. You know, the guys with really short torsos and long arms, man, they're mechanically built to deadlift, but their bench suffers because those arms, they have to push it so much further. And normally with the shorter torsos, their clavicles, a lot of times their clavicles aren't really that wide, so they don't have they can't build as massive of an upper body. But the amount of torsion and torque that they put on their lumbar, you know, they put on their spinal erectors, isn't nearly as much at the heavier weights as somebody with like a really long torso. It's just moderate weight, you know. It's finding those things that you're mechanically built for and excelling in those. That's why my bench is good. I'm built more towards a bencher. Yeah. That aside the fact that I'm a lazy fuck, and in seriousness, in my job field, you know, I run heavy equipment, so like that, it takes a lot on your body. The big machines, even the little machines, depending on what you're doing, it can leave your hips, your lower back, your quads, your glutes. It can leave that all shot at the end of the day. And that compounded at the end of the week, you know, if you don't keep it in check, keep up on your stretching. That's why a lot of guys have, like, just, you know, you tell them to bend over, touch their toes, they really can't get down that far because it's so tight. They don't keep up on your stretching. But then that's why, like, a lot of guys have labor jobs. You know, I used to be a laborer, but a lot of guys that with like real physically demanding jobs, you know, they have a hard time with training. So just finding a way that you can keep your training progressing. That's why, like, a lot of guys that don't have to do a physically demanding job, they can do a lot more compounds, a lot more volume on them during the week, but just because they can don't mean you can. You know, you got to find what works for you and what doesn't work. All the things that work, you know, you see all these other programs out there, guys doing stuff, don't follow it directly, just cherry pick things here and there. Take it into your own training so you can mold something for yourself. All the other shit that don't work, you kick it out. I don't even want to deadlift anymore. This is the hard part. Fucking pushing myself to do a little something when I don't even feel like it. Oh, yeah. Arm wrestling is fun too. It's fun, but the thing about the arm wrestling you really gotta watch is that shit has a lot of shearing force on the elbow. That's why I stopped. That's why I stopped the arm wrestling. Plus to the fact that if you're not gonna be training it like religiously, like to actually be like a serious arm wrestler, the dudes that are training it religiously, like Big Paul, they're gonna fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that guy he's not only he's like so big and so strong and powerful, his technique is good. He's got awesome technique. And it's all those, like the little things, like it's all those little workouts they do, you know, all those little things like that. Over time, it's just like how I do all the training to kind of bulletproof all my pushing muscles so I don't tear anything when I bench. It's the same thing like that on arm wrestling. You've got to do so much of those things, you know. You got to have your cupping down, your hand grip stuff. You got to have all your what do they call it? Your back load, that back pressure. Got to have all those in. All of those different, not only that, all your transitions. That's like a full-time during the week thing to add that in. And I couldn't find a way to properly train all of that without tearing apart my bad elbow for bench. So that's why I stopped. I'm just concentrating on my bench. Yeah, I'll leave that to the good arm wrestlers. You know, I wouldn't even consider myself half decent of an arm wrestler. I know a little about a little, you know. What I just did there. And that's a good old-fashioned cop-out. I didn't want to go up heavier, have to struggle. I just did one set. Yeah, it is. It is. It really is, man. It's fucking really hard. It's super hard to incorporate all that. Just the training, the arm wrestling training itself will run your elbow into the dirt. Especially if you're going up against beasts like those two guys, like him and Paul. If your elbow gets run into the dirt, you got off easy. Those guys will fucking break arms. I think, when is that strongman coming up? Is it June? Not July, right? I think it's June. We'll get to see those. Hopefully get to see Paul compete in that. I think he'll be competing in that. I take my hat off to those guys, man. Yeah, June. I don't know how those guys do that. If you want to be a strong man, you have to have a monster deadlift as your base. Bench pressing don't mean shit in strongman. You really have to have a gigantic deadlift. That has to be your strongest lift, is deadlift. Because everything is so lifting oriented, you know. And then if you look at the world-class level, I mean, look at those top guys, Big Z, the Mountain, Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall. Even Eddie Hall's a genetic freak. And you heard what he said when he's sitting down eating lunch with Hafthor and Brian. He said that thing is so discouraging because they're such freaks that it makes you feel like a fucking beta, basically. You know, they're such alphas, they're so genetically freaky that even a genetic outlier is gonna pale in comparison to those dudes. Structurally, you know. How are you gonna compete against guys that are 6'8", 6'9", 440, and not fat? They're not fat, they're fucking muscular. Pretty sure Hafthor has visible abs at 425. It's fucking ridiculous. How are you gonna compete against that, man? That's why Eddie Hall said, I just want one that I'm out. Fuck competing against these behemoths. They would even make me look tiny. The only thing I could lip off to him about is, you want a bench? And even then, look at Eddie. Eddie's got a pretty sick bench. I think he benches well over 6. Benches well over 6. I'm almost certain he could pull. Like some of his pulls was like with the half suit, then some of the big ones was like with the squat, with the deadlift suit. But I'm almost certain he could pull 1,000 raw, easily. That's already 1,600 pounds. All he'd have to do is squat 800. He's at fucking, what is that, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. He's already at 2,400. Be interesting to see Eddie Hall do some powerlifting. I don't think it would take him really too long to really get that over-under going. His deadlift form is so beautiful, right? It's impeccable, his deadlift form. Yeah, squat, deadlift, overheads, yeah. No. 310, it's all relative, brother. Good thing about where you're at, you have the mass. You know, this is like a lot of the YouTube people. They freaking get shit twisted because they see all of these freaking fitness dudes that are fucking wankers, that are just like skinny little twigs, and they're all ripped and stuff, and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna go on bulking. and then they bulk up, they gain 20 pounds, and then they cut, and then when they were to end up 5 pounds more, so if that, 5 pounds more than where they're actually at, in order to get real size, real strength, you gotta get big, you gotta put on some fat, and you gotta turn that to muscle. So good thing is where you're at, you already have the mass. So incorporate a lot more bodybuilding, a lot more rep training. You watch your body just transform, man. You already got the mass there. Just transform it. Especially you're young. You know what I mean? Take advantage of that youth now. I tell you, if I had that youth, man, with the knowledge I have now, fuck. But take advantage of that now. 80% of my training, I'm not doing compounds. I'm doing bodybuilding 80% of the time. And the big majority of that time, moderate weight, high reps, pump work, bodybuilding stuff. Do all of that. Keep building the muscles as much as I can while trying to recover all of the joints, the tendons, the ligaments. That way when I come back around to my compounds, I'm strong. Dude, you know what's a good rep range? All reps. All reps. I'm always doing like 20s, 25s. Dude, some of the stuff I do, I'm doing like sets of 35 to 50. Like when I do, pretty much on all of my bodybuilding nights, somewhere in there, I'm doing a monster rep range. Say like when I do my bench accessories, and I don't know if you caught this before, but I don't do bench accessories on bench night. On bench night, I just bench and then I cut the workout. I come back on the Wednesday and I do my bench accessories after shoulders. But on that bench accessory night, say if I'm doing like the hammer strength dip machine, the plate loaded one. Dude, you see guys stacking like 4 plates on each side, but their chest is small. That's why their chest is small, because they're stacking 4 plates on each side. You're not actually building shit. You're using all joint, tendon, and ligament strength to lift that weight. I literally start off with 1 plate on one side. So 1 45-pound plate. Do that thing for like 30, 35 reps. Then I turn around, do it for like another 30, 35 reps. Then I throw a quarter. Each set I'll just put a quarter. Then I'll have like 1 45-pound plate and like 4 quarters. 5 at the most, but like 4 quarters total on top of that machine. And each one of those quarters is a set. And each one of those sets, I'll drop the reps a little. So like a plate and a quarter, I'll do like 25 or 30 reps on that. Put another quarter on, do like 20 or 25 reps on that. Put another quarter on, do like 15 to 20 reps on that. Put another quarter on, do like 15 reps on that. And mind you, every one of those sets, along with those reps that I'm doing that one way facing the mirror, I'll turn around and I'll load my chest a completely different way and do it like that. So I'm getting like double sets on that workout, on that exercise, just that exercise alone. That's only one of the exercises. And then I just showed one of my buddies in there the other night, because he has a hard time activating his chest on bench. So I took him through that, and he had a gigantic chest pump from doing that, because he was doing them. He really didn't do that machine. And he definitely didn't do it the way that I do it. So after, when I got all the weight on there, like the heaviest weight I'm going to build up to, and the heaviest weight I'm going to build up to, I still do it like 15 reps. That's like the lowest and the heaviest, the lowest reps and the heaviest weight I'll do on there. I'll turn around and I'll do like a set of 10, and then I'll drop a quarter, do a set of 10, drop another quarter, do a set of 12, drop another quarter, do a set of 15, drop the final quarter, do like an all-out burnout set, like 30, 35 reps. Then I'll turn around and do another burnout set until failure. So take advantage of drop sets. A lot of people forget about that. That's old school bodybuilding slash power building training is drop sets. I do a lot of drop sets, and I'll do a lot of supersets, and sometimes I'll even do 3 sets, triple sets. So that's like 3 exercises, and you're just doing them in a circuit. Sometimes I'll do that too. A lot of the times I'll superset stuff. Sometimes in order to heal up my elbow good, I'll superset my entire arm workout, and that's after I do back. So yeah, building more muscle it's gonna be normally you're gonna be doing anywhere from 15 to 25 for the most part. Some sets you'll be going way higher, like 30, 35. Some sets even higher. There's been times that I go on the pec deck, I'll put 100 pounds on the pec deck, and I'll do like 100 reps, but I'll do like 25 reps, and then I'll hold them, I'll cross my fingers. I'll like take the things and I'll cross my fingers, and I'll just take like a 5 count, and I'll just freaking burn it, and I'll just keep going all the way to 100. Sometimes I'll get like 30, and I'll try and do it in like 3 sets. Sometimes I gotta do 4 sets to do it, but sometimes I'm always switching it up. I'll do shit like that, and that's just 1 set, you know. Sometimes I'll do that after I do like 3 more moderate weight sets, like 10 to 12 reps. But there's things that you shouldn't really be going heavy on. Pec deck and cable crossovers is one of them. That's literally just to stretch the muscle as much as you can stretch it without overstretching it and stretching your bicep tendon and fucking pumping it and holding the contraction. Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks, man. Yeah, I like adding. I like sharing stuff. You know, it's all stuff that I kind of found out over the way. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, man. I might not have like. There's a lot of people that have a lot different style of a training mentality than I have, but what I do just works for me. And I can only give as much advice as I can. Even the things I say, I would only take what actually works for you and kick out the shit that doesn't work. Because what works for me is not necessarily going to work for everyone else. But there is aspects of all people's training theories that you can use for your own. You just got to find what works for you. But that's just what works for me. I do a lot more bodybuilding stuff than I do compounds, and that's what's really helped my my bench progress, even along with this elbow tendonitis, this elbow injury I got. That's what's really helped my bench keep progressing. Because it's hard, man. Doing it naturally is hard. You don't have all that extra added benefits, you know. I can only speak through theory about that, because I've never taken anything. But I mean, you don't have to be an idiot to realize that the PEDs would help you recover so much faster and really capitalize all of the training that you actually do. That's why I believe one day when I do jump on, I believe that my training would probably be like the best complement towards my training, because of just the hypertrophy aspect in itself, you know. Being able to heal up from the heavy compounds faster, being able to come in more recovered for the heavy compounds. I honestly can't wait. I want to hurry up and hit that 550 so I can actually jump on. I hope this is the year. I hope this is the year I can do it. Fuck, man. The first things first, I'm going to hit that 550 drug-free, natural, raw first. And I believe I'm going to do that, especially after this weekend, knowing how much power I had this weekend. Oh, fuck, I had that 530. That 530 was in the bag, huh? That's all right. Good, good learning. That was a good learning thing for me. I was actually surprised. I was really worried coming into this because there's been some weeks in the past, like in the past 4 or 5 months, like before December, before I got that flu and lost all that weight. But there's been some weeks, oh, and especially before that one incident, but there's been some weeks in that time that my elbow felt fucking amazing compared to how it was feeling, lately. And the amount that it affected my strength on my bench, I was actually really surprised that when my elbow feels good, my bench is a lot stronger. And my elbow really didn't feel that good coming into this meet, even though I deloaded. I did like 4 hard weeks of training, like benching heavy. I did 4 hard weeks in a row. I didn't take that deload on the 4th week. I ended up taking it on the 5th week. So I kind of ran my elbow down a little, especially with all those heavy 5s that I was doing. Kind of ran my elbow down. So going into this meet, I was kind of worried. So I even had a massage on Saturday morning before I drove out to Hilo to weigh in. I had a massage and I had my massage girl kind of work on my tricep because it was still super tight. And I think we kind of went overboard a little because she was like, okay, I want to stop. I don't want to do that much. And I kept forcing her to, not forcing her, it's not like, but I kept asking her to, do a little more. And my tricep got real hot. I never knew that's how the masseuse, the massage people, that's how they can. Hi, you guys, have a good one. That's how the massage people can tell if they're going a little overboard, is your muscle will get real hot. And she was going like this, like she was just like feeling. I was like, I was thinking to myself, fuck, she's feeling like, but she was feeling how hot it was like giving off heat. She was like, oh fuck, she was like, I don't want to do it anymore because it's getting really, really hot. And so when I woke up Sunday morning, that's when I realized, I was like, oh, I told her to do too much. It was my fault, Yeah. That's the funny thing. It's almost, it's like everyone on Imua Iron, they know I'm natural because I've been training with them forever. A lot of my closest friends, a lot of the people who I've been around all these years, they know I'm natural. My girlfriend especially knows I'm natural. But there's so much people that don't think I am. It's kind of funny. It's half amusing and it's half insulting at the same time, because it's like, it's kind of a compliment in the aspect that they don't think that what you achieved is achievable naturally. And then it's half insulting on the other aspect that, really, you think that, like, I needed drugs to do this? They think I needed drugs to do that horrible, shitty-ass deadlift? Fucking laughable. Pretty sure Cyrus can out-deadlift me right now. Pretty sure. In fact, I'm certain of it. Tell you what, though, I would have benched more than he deadlifted, huh? But, yeah, how's that fucking Cyrus kid? He's strong as shit, right? Goodness. That's why I was kind of disappointed that my son, because my son was, Cyrus was, he trained with us years ago. And I think this is back when he was really young. I think he's like he's around the same age as my son. And I think at that time, their deadlifts were pretty comparable. But I think Cyrus deadlifted like a little more than my son. But then my son smashed them on bench. And then I think, I've never seen Cyrus squat, but I'm almost certain he's got a great squat. But that's why I was kind of disappointed that my son stopped deadlifting, because watching Cyrus deadlift that stuff, I was like, damn, my son probably could have been doing something. Because it was like 15 years old. He deadlifted like 415. But what is that other kid from Team Rhino? The other kid, one of the Team Rhino members' son, Angus, wasn't he like 16 and he deadlifted over 500 pounds? And he's got a fucking wicked deadlift. But my son's deadlift was pretty good, pretty decent, especially for his he's what, almost 6'5". I was like, damn, I wish he would have kept training, but he got a girlfriend. You know how that goes, huh? But he still pulled he'll like not deadlift for months, and then he'll come in and still be able to pull 405 for like a double. I was like, damn, I wish you would have kept that. But hey, that's the plus side of being young. You have time on your side. Me, I don't have time on my side. I just turned 36. I don't have that much time. If shit's gonna happen, I gotta make it happen now. That's why I want to be going for that record. But before then, I have to build this base up a little bigger, man. 529, goodness. He's what, 17? Is he 17 years old? What was his body weight? 150? 160 pounds? He's strong as shit. That one deadlift was really impressive, because that one deadlift was super impressive because it wasn't easy from the start. And he fucking grinded the whole thing through. That was straight willpower. I turned to Kamo. I was like, bro, what we just saw there, that wasn't strength, that was sheer willpower that he got that weight. That was impressive. That fucking kid, he's gonna have a monster deadlift one day, you watch. As long as he can. The thing about being strong young is, if you don't have the maturity to know when to back off, to not chase huge numbers and run yourself down or get yourself into a major injury, you know, that's a big thing, man. That's a big thing with strength in general, is taking your time to build it properly. You know, you find a quick path through, and you keep trying to push. That last little bit, always trying to fucking hit the ceiling or hit up through the ceiling. That's when you're gonna risk tearing something, you know. But build it properly. Take your time to build the strength the right way. And not only that, that's only one aspect of it. The other aspect is doing all the accessory work to make sure your body doesn't fall apart from that weight. And that's what a lot of guys get wrong, is they don't do nearly as much accessory work as they need to. Honestly, this is one of my rants on just powerlifting in general. I'm not saying all do it, but a lot of powerlifters, the fault that they have is they have a powerlifting mentality. Meaning all of the accessory work comes secondary. It's always, everything is always built off of the big three, based off of the big three. Oh, bench, do this. Oh, okay, floor presses. Okay, rack pulls, blah, blah. It's all compounds. Tell me where the fuck in there are they doing cable crossovers? Huh? I don't see them. A lot of them doing it. I don't see it. You know what I see? I see different variations of bench. Oh, bench with bands. Bench with chains. Oh, boards. Oh, rack. Oh, reverse bands. Oh, what else? Oh, bamboo bar. Oh, axle bar. Oh, you know, like, well, where in there are they doing fucking dumbbell flies or dumbbells? You know, where are they doing machines? 165 high potential. Wow, goodness, 165 pounds, that young, pulling that kind of weight, fucking impressive. Yeah, well, that's just like a thing that a lot of powerlifters, they keep trying to chase numbers, do different variations of the same compound, but they're not doing the bodybuilding, they're not doing the power building. You know, they're not getting all that hypertrophy work that they should be. That's why you see all the biggest, the baddest fucking powerlifters are all jacked. Fucking jacked. Eric Lillibridge, jacked. Fucking Larry Wills, jacked. Can do a bodybuilding contest. Did a bodybuilding contest. Won. Albeit the competition wasn't really up to his level, huh? But they're all fucking jacked. Dan Green is jacked. Stan Efferdine jacked. They all fucking do their bodybuilding too. Krill is jacked. Eric Spoto is jacked. Malanachev, he's a fucking freak. He was born in the wrong millennium. I can see Andrei Malanachev in a gladiatorial arena, chopping dudes' heads off. I can see Brian Shaw doing that, Half-Thor doing that as well. I can see Krill doing that as well. All born in the wrong millennium. They're supposed to be born in ancient Roman days, where they'd be over there killing people in the arena, and they'll be feeding them women for dinner. But yeah, just a lot of the powerlifting mentality in general. A lot of fault I see in there is they can kind of be anti-bodybuilding to the aspect of the training, where they'll almost, it's like how much of the powerlifter guys that you see do bench press, and what the fuck do they do after bench press? Lat pull downs. Why the fuck are you doing lat pull downs after bench press? Seriously, why? Oh, to stretch it all out? Really, you need that to stretch out? But they don't have an actual day just dedicated itself to doing only lats. They don't have a back and biceps day where they just slam all bodybuilding back, bodybuilding biceps. They don't do that. They do their fucking all their back work after bench when they're completely shot, and they like, oh, you're gonna flush. What the fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna flush the blood that you just generated in your fucking chest, shoulders, and triceps? You're gonna fucking flush that into your lats and biceps? Really? That makes sense to you guys? Doesn't make sense for me. I never do back after my bench press. I have a day dedicated itself just to back and buys, and I'll throw triceps in there as well sometimes. I'll superset them. But the reason why it's like that is because if you're going to be doing that, you can't be bench squat deading every single week. Because say you bench on Sunday, when are you gonna deadlift? It's probably gonna be sometime during like Wednesday. That's when you'll be like really recovered to pull a big deadlift, Wednesday. Then when are you actually gonna have a big squat day? You're gonna need some days to recover in order to do some squats. So when you're gonna squat, you're gonna end up squatting Saturday. Friday's gonna be kind of close from deads. So they're probably gonna put it on Saturday. That's really close to bench. So in that week span, it's really hard for them to put if they're benching on Sunday and they're doing deadlifts on Wednesday, you're not going to be able to completely slam your lats on Monday because you're still going to be shot from bench. What you're going to do, you're going to slam your lats on Tuesday, right before the day before you do deadlifts. That's going to take away from your deadlifts. So what do? They put their lats after their bench. That way they're healed up from that to come into deadlifts. That's why everything is structured around the big 3 lifts, and it's not structured around the actual body. It's structured around lifts. It's not structured around getting the best recovery for your body. Yeah. Keep in mind that that's just one theory, and the fault in my training is that the way I set it up, I can't bench, squat, and deadlift all in the same week. It's just not gonna work, you know? So that's why I can still do my training. It's just that instead of squatting, trying to squat, because mind you, I've been having a lot of shitty squat workouts. Like my squat workouts will be dog shit or good, hit or miss week by week. So already it's not like I'm squatting heavy every week and progressing from it. So I can actually take a day during the week on one week to squat, and then I can substitute that out for deads the next week. And that's why I was messing around tonight on deads. It's just this is a real beginner workout I had. I wouldn't even call it a workout. We just competed yesterday. How much work can we really get in today, huh? So, yeah, that with my theories on training and the way I structure it, there's no way that you'll be able to bench, squat, and deadlift all in the same week, especially doing it naturally. So I don't structure my training necessarily around the big 3. I structure it more towards like more of a bodybuilding approach with things revolving around my bench, and I have enough playtime in there that I can throw squats in on 2 separate days, depending on how I'm feeling. I can either throw them in on Monday or I can throw them in on Friday. Sometimes I feel better on Monday. I can squat heavy on Monday. I'll still do back and biceps Tuesday. I can get my shoulders in on Wednesday with bench accessories. By then, I can feel my body starting to get run down to where I need a rest day. I'll rest on Thursday. I always rest on Thursday. And then Friday is the opposite of what Monday was. So if I squatted heavy on Monday, Friday is going to be all bodybuilding. And a lot of the time, all the time, I get way better leg pumps on that bodybuilding day than I do on the squat day. That's just how I structure my training. Everyone structures their training a little differently. Just the way I do it, I can't do all big 3. Not in the same week anyway. Yeah. If anything, it would honestly be more of a power building approach to training than a bodybuilding or powerlifting. I don't label myself as anything. I just love to lift. I'm half decent at bench, and that's about it. Half decent at anything that involves pressing. I had a good shoulder press. I probably had one of the bigger shoulder presses out there. I did 415 for a double on shoulder press. I've done 225 for 40 on shoulder press. This is all seated. I've done 315 for 30. Mind you, the 315 and the 225 was all half reps. That wasn't locking it out, because fucking even shoulder pressing, locking out that much destroys my elbow. I don't shoulder press anymore. That's another thing. That's another thing about, I don't do any shoulder pressing anymore at all. I don't need them. They run my elbows down. They run my triceps down way too much. That's why I don't get how people can bench twice in the same week. And that's another thing about powerlifting. How the fuck are they not only bench, squat, and dead in the same week, but they're gonna bench twice in the same week? And shoulder press? Bye-bye, elbows. Bye-bye. Been good knowing you. Your elbows will be completely shot. Need a fucking cigarette. What time is it? You haven't trained in a while, sort of worried about starting again, building a stronger foundation than before. Was a novice doing 5x5s, wasn't getting anywhere with that. After almost a year, these vids help a lot. Oh, thanks, buddy. Thing about 5x5s is you can get strong on 5x5s, but you can't get strong on only doing 5x5s. You get what I'm saying? You always got to switch it up. 5x5, I'll do 5x5s. That's one of the things that, like, I'll add in. I'll usually try, like, even in my bench, yeah, switching it up. Switching it up is a massive thing. The thing about it is your body is gonna get used to it. It's gonna adapt. It's gonna adapt to whatever stimulus you throw at it. So if you're always throwing the same stimulus at it, it's gonna adapt to get comfortable at that stimulus. And then that's when you're gonna stagnate. So if you're always doing 5x5s, eventually you're not gonna get any progression out of them. But if you bring them in, then you kick them back out, you bring them back in, you kick them back out. That's when 5x5s are gonna really help you progress. But if you don't ever do 5x5s, you know what I mean? Like, even say like how I do like that 445. That was my girlfriend calling, wondering where the fuck I'm at. I didn't know it was 10:24 already. Fuck. I have too much fun chatting with you guys. Alternatively, when you kick 5x5s out, no, that wasn't a bad connection. I had a phone call come through. Alternatively, when you kick the 5x5s out, that's when you could be building up to like a heavy triple. You're talking about like a compound, just doing compounds, right? Obviously you are. Definitely, yeah. Okay, so say this week I did 5x5s, right? Next week, I'm either gonna go up or I'm gonna go down. I'm not gonna be doing 5x5s. I'm either gonna be building up to like a heavy triple. I'm either gonna be building up to like a heavy triple, or I'm gonna be coming down on like a max out set at 405, and then like a max out rep set, a max rep set at 405. Then I'll be coming down even more and just getting like a lot of volume with lighter weight in. So 5x5s is like, it's more like the moderate to heavy-ish volume, right? So that's just one aspect on the tier. So that's like mid-range, right? So you're either gonna go up, build up to like a heavy triple, or do 3x3. You know, it's like 3x3, or even above that is like a heavy triple. and then you're gonna be coming down way under that 5x5 range and doing like a heavy set, like a all-out set, like a 10 or 13, all the way down to like the lower aspect of that, which is like how I do 225 for fucking 60 plus reps. Alternating week by week, yeah. Never do the same shit week in, week out. It's just the same stimulus, you know? You always want to be attacking different areas that you're weak in. So like by that, it's like, say like this week I worked on, hella bored too. Yeah, 5x5s. I don't know how that thing got so popular. I honestly don't know. Like you're doing the same shit over and over and over and over. It's like anything else, yeah, linear periodization, linear progression. You're gonna progress week by week by week, and you're just gonna keep progressing off of the same shit. Eventually, you're not gonna progress anymore because your body has no new stimulus added to it. The stimulus that you get doing 445 for 5 sets of 5 is a great stimulus, but it's a completely different stimulus you get from 500 for a double, or 485 for a triple, or 405 for 13. That's all different stimuluses. It's all different things that your body feels when you do those things. So if you're always doing the same shit, 5x5s, 445, 5x5s, you do that every week, week in, week out. When are you ever touching 500? Never. When are you ever touching 405 for over 10 reps? Not in that one, huh? Are you ever doing 315 for 30? Never. So that's the fault within the 5x5s, is you're always doing the same shit. And it's not saying 5x5s is terrible. It's that doing anything all the time is terrible. You always got to switch it up. If you're always going up to 500, it's gonna work, but eventually you're gonna get shot. You're not 500. You could be tripling 500. You keep doing that every single week, week in, week out. There's gonna be a week you can't even do it for one. Yeah. See, all those programs look good on paper, but your body doesn't abide by that paper. Leonidas, yeah, I remember you, buddy. Narrow pull-ups, elbows pointed way back. Narrow pull-ups. Oh, okay. Hey. Oh, narrow pull-downs? Yeah. The majority of my pull-downs I do, the majority of them is at like my bench grip width. That's like the majority of them. Sometimes I'll do inside, sometimes I'll do outside. But for the most part, it's closer to where my bench grip is. And I'm not doing them heavy. I really ain't. I'm doing high reps and just pump work. Supplements, do the basics, man. Novice, top 3 supplements. Top 3 supplements is gonna be a good protein, whatever protein works best for your body. I like Isopure, it's expensive. And I'm talking the Isopure in the glass bottle. That's what I drink. It's expensive, but for me it's worth it, especially when diverticulitis. So a good protein, creatine, and joint support. That's really the foundation. A lot of guys will say stuff like, vitamin D this, B that. That's all well and good. Whatever you can add in that helps you. But yeah, my basic stuff is basically a good protein to help get your protein count up, good joint support, and creatine to help your muscles absorb more water. and just get more full. I feel like my muscles are more full when I take creatine. Narrow grip pull downs. Don't always do narrow grip. Switch them up. I normally, because I do like 5, sometimes 6 back exercises. So there's only so much variation I can do doing that many exercises. But a lot of the times I'm kicking 2 or 3 out that I did the week before, and I'm adding 2 or 3 different ones in. So I'm always switching up something in that. Too narrow and pointed elbows back. I'll do, when I get a chance, I'll do a video. In fact, I was just showing one of the lifters over here earlier before I started live streaming. I was showing one of the lifters the way I do pull downs. I do them a certain way that it's probably a lot different than most people do them. But I'm like super concentrating the lats. It's like I can turn off everything but my lats. I do them, sometimes I'll do them back straight, but that's only on the light, the real light stuff, like the warm-up stuff. And then as I'm adding weight, I'm actually leaning back when I'm extending. I'm leaning back while I'm letting the pull-up bar go up. And then when I'm pulling down, I lean forward into it, and I try and contract my back muscles as hard as I can. And then when I let it go back up, I'm leaning back again, but I'm leaning back to an extent where I'm putting all of the torque from the weight into my lats. Like, I don't feel it at all in my elbows, in my biceps, not at all, or in my shoulders. It's literally just, it's probably, and honestly, it might not work for people if they don't. I have a very long torso, so that's why I do it the way I do it. It's because my torso is like abnormally long. So I'll lean back in order to keep the contraction only in the lats. And then when I'm pulling down, I'll lean forward and I'll just fucking squeeze the contraction hard. And then that's the way I do pull-ups. I'm pull downs like that. And I don't do them very heavily. They're very heavy. I can easily do the stack with not even cheating for them. But it's so much weight that I can feel that I'm incorporating forearms, biceps, shoulders. I'm incorporating all the surrounding muscles in order to pull the bar down. It's totally defeating the whole purpose of the fucking pull down. The whole purpose of the pull down is to build the lats. You shouldn't be using your biceps at all to do them. You shouldn't be using your forearms and your shoulders and be real and like heaving it back just to get it's kind of defeating the whole purpose. That being said, every once in a great while, every once in a blue moon, it wouldn't hurt to throw the whole fucking stack on there on a night that you're feeling ridiculously strong and get a little bit of cheating in there. But always doing them like that, I don't see the purpose. For me, I don't get no pump off of it. I can get a pump off of 120, 140 pounds on the lat pull down perfectly fine. Yep. Telling you guys, I have a real big belief that that's why my bench is good. It's because my mind to muscle connection. And we can get into that in another video. How come you guys always coming in when I'm ready to leave the gym, huh? Is it because I'm in Hawaii? You motherfuckers are up late, huh? SL, what is SL 5x5? Let's see. Let me search this thing. My chick is like strong lifts. I have no idea what strong lifts is. Popular 5x5 system. I don't know. Bench well over 500 pounds naturally. I've never heard of it. I've never tried it. I don't know what strong lifts is. Who the fuck is that guy? Never heard of him. It's basically the same thing as everything else, man. You do the same shit over and over and over. You're not gonna get it's pop culture. Yeah. Just bench press 5x5, squat 5x5, deadlift. Oh, yeah. Big Lenny would say it's a cookie cutter approach, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Tom Platz, that motherfucker squatted like 525 for what? 30 reps or some shit. Overhead press 5x5. Sounds like all the same shit. Damn, I wish I would have thought of that and made a lot of money off of it. Yeah. Hey, Butcher, just get the basics, man. A good joint support, some creatine, and a good protein. Everything other than that is kind of like icing on the cake. You know, vitamins are good. I've never really been a big advocate, but I don't, you know, I don't advise against them. You know what I mean? I've just never taken a lot of vitamins. I don't see why vitamins would be detrimental though. So, hey, aloha. Yeah, thanks, buddy. You too. Yeah. Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, I'll try and get more live streaming in here. Best for biceps? Dude, my biceps have a lot of different shit. You ever do Arnold curls? I'll throw in Arnold curls here and there. I usually have for biceps only one heavy movement, and the rest is all bodybuilding stuff. I do a lot of different shit. It'll take me all night in order to cover how much stuff I do on biceps. My biceps variations are probably more than anything else. I vary the workouts a lot. I do isolations. I'll do isolations on dumbbells. I'll do isolations on cables. I'll do isolations. I'll do standing dumbbells. I'll do standing dumbbell curls. I'll do heavy single arm preacher curls. Just program them around one heavy bicep movement, right? You're only going to do one heavy bicep movement. All the rest is going to be either isolations or just good old-fashioned machines and pump work. But one heavy bicep movement, and you switch that up every week. So if you're doing, say this week you're doing heavy Arnolds, and I can build up when I do like like Arnold curls, right? Bent over Arnold curls, single arm. I'll do 75 pounds for 6 to 8 reps for like a top set. That's like the heaviest I'll go. And I can do 75-pound dumbbells for 6 to 8 reps. And I'll build up slowly on the way up there. And then I'll come down and I'll do like maybe 2 or 3 sets at like 35 or 40 pounds, just pumping them. And then all the other things from there is like moderate weight, moderate weight with like, 10 to 15 reps, usually around like 15 reps with that moderate weight, and then light weight from 15 to 25 reps. And that's just all serious, that's like serious contraction and pumping. And I have a lot of different, dude, I can jump on the fucking free motion machine and I can show you like 4 or 5 different bicep workouts on that one machine. And I'll always be throwing those in and out, doing different ones. That's on the free motion machine. Sometimes I'll jump on a flat bench and I'll set up the cables to like up high, and I set up the flat bench underneath that. I'll lay down with my face facing up, and then I'll do Arnold curls like that, and I'll supinate them real hard like that, like laying down on the bench, single arm cable Arnold curls, supinating the fuck out of them. And sometimes I'll build up to like 65, 75 pounds, 70 pounds. I don't think I ever did heavier than that. Like 65, 70 pounds for like a set of 10, and then I'll drop down. But sometimes I'll just do maybe 4 sets at a single weight. Sometimes I'll do 4 sets, but I'm building up, and then I'll come back down and I'll do like 2 more kind of light ones. Or I'll build up to like 70 pounds and I'll fucking drop set each and every plate. My worst body part? I don't have abs. They're under there, but you can't see them. That's probably my worst body part. Yeah. Although my abs are strong as fuck, I actually played pranks on my friends in the gym. Weakest? Yeah, it's got to be my deadlift. Weakest. Conventional deadlift. Weakest, by far. That's what I was working on tonight. Nothing impressive, seriously. Actually, more laughable than anything. But you gotta start somewhere, huh? If you don't ever start the race, you'll never win it. It's on here. It's way in the beginning. My deadlift form. It's easy to have good form when your deadlift is fucking dog shit, when you're not deadlifting big weights. But better get out of here before my girlfriend cuts my dick off. And I will. Yeah, I'll post it up. I was talking to one of my buddies before you guys came in here. Where the fuck were you guys, huh? I was waiting for everyone. Yeah, dude, you want the cliff notes? I was only doing 315. That's it. I was only deadlifting 315 tonight. Just messing around with it. First time deadlifting in like 6 months. Still no excuse. But I'm just going through the motions. Oh fuck, I gotta take this thing off. All right, you guys. I'll see you guys. Start of a new work week, huh? All the playtime's done. Hey, I hope you guys caught my last video. I posted up my bench meet results. You guys better watch that. Don't just come in for the live stream. All right, you guys. It's pitch black in here. I can't see shit. I gotta go. Thanks for all the support. See ya.